Welcome to Buckets and Bubbles. Why is it called Buckets and Bubbles?
It's called Buckets and Bubbles because we run a cleaning firm. Which, if you Google Buckets and Bubbles on YouTube, there is a channel called Bubbles and Buckets, and it's cleaning. It's like ASMR cleaning videos.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So we've set up a rival cleaning company.
You can imagine they're putting it on the side of the van on the little cards, and they get me and thee.
Yeah, love it. Okay, yeah, fair enough. It's been a couple of weeks, Mike.
I know. There's been another game. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't pay much attention when they're all wearing the same shirt.
What, England? You mean? Oh, right, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all right with that. I watched a bit of it when I could be bothered. That Medawaki, whatever his name is, he looks all right.
Yeah, he's no Jared Bowen, but you know. Bowen got on this time. I was pleased at that.
Yep, yeah.
And then come back, not injured.
So, as far as England's concerned, because we were going to do in England an international version, weren't we?
Yeah.
And we couldn't be bothered. The only exciting thing about the international break was I watched both Wales games because I was more interested in Wales, quite frankly, because we've got more Leeds players in the Wales team.
Yeah.
And when they played Canada, of course, Canada, their manager is Jesse Marsh, who famously or infamously managed Leeds United. And he celebrated that friendly win like they'd won the World Cup. So, I mean, typical Jesse Marsh. And also, I believe he applied for the manager's position for the American team as well.
Yeah.
All right, I've heard that. In the know. There's a bit of in the know. There you go.
There we go. That's the only bit of in the know ever.
Yep. And that's all there ever will be.
Yeah.
So that's England then done.
Yeah, fair enough.
Covered that.
I can appreciate Harry Kane because he has proven himself to be one of the great strikers in an England shirt. He's played for Millwall. He's played for Spurs. So really, club level, couldn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But I can on an England level, I can go fair enough. Harry Kane, well done. As a captain, I've never been a fan of strikers being captains, and I cannot wait for the day he hangs up his boots.
What, football generally, or just for
just
England?
Internationally, because I want Declan Rice to be captain, even though he's he's gone to the north side. I think Declan Rice, if you put aside all the Ireland nonsense, and you just go, what he's doing for the England team right now, that man is already captained a team to a major European trophy. Thank you very much. And it's his destiny with Jared Bowen on right, Declan Rice at middle. You're going
to win us another World Cup.
Exactly.
What I will say about Declan Rice is that I know everybody else will know this, but it wasn't until you said he was about 6'3" or whatever that I've started to look and go, actually, he is really tall.
Yeah, he's massive.
Mm.
He's no Peter Crouch in terms of his stature, but it always surprises me how good with the ball tall players tend to be. Declan Rice he's no Maradona, granted, but he's good with ball at his feet for a big lad.
He is good with the ball at his feet for a big lad. He's a bit of a unit. And we've got somebody in midfield, Stack, who did his usual thing before the Fulham game and went on social media and did, I think it was Family Guy or something. I quite liked it. You can see it there. Beautiful. It's a bit of a nutcase. Although what was quite funny was Leeds so whoever does Leeds socials are quite good as well. They do these things before games, and they put this one up as well. A picture of Goodmanson, who is our left back, as Gladiator.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. Didn't go so well for him in the 93rd minute.
No.
Our Gladiator. Hell of a finish, though. It was a hell of a finish.
Yeah.
Just in the wrong net.
Yeah.
Poor lad. I felt for him. What's there to say about Leeds versus Fulham? We got beat 1-0. We didn't deserve it. They didn't deserve it. It was absolute Premier League fuckery. Yeah. I mean, I think I just put on social medias, well, that's some Premier League bullshit, because Fulham didn't deserve it. They were quite poor, actually. Well, I mean, we weren't great, but we definitely more than held our own. And if Calvert-Lewin could finish, we'd probably have won that game, I would have thought. We certainly didn't deserve to lose it. But anyway, that's what happened. 94th minute, corner comes in. and inexplicably it bounces off Goodmanson's head and goes top left corner.
Yeah, it's one of them. There's two manners in which you can lose a football game. There's one where you just come away absolutely banging your head against the wall, just thinking, this is horrific, this is not good, this is embarrassing. And then there's a, do you know what? That could have gone either way, and it's just one of them. It'll round itself out. We'll get a similar result later in the season. It's just one of them.
The commentator said something similar. You know, these things sort of but even he went, I'm not really sure that will even out for Fulham. I mean,
yeah.
Having said that, listen, Fulham had a good transfer day, final day, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And they brought two players in, and that Kevin, what a name, Brazilian, came on. He looks the real deal, that lad. Dan James, talking about the Wales connection, came on for about 10 minutes and then pulled up. So he's probably out. Stach, our midfielder, didn't look great. We need Tanaka back, but I just worry. I worry for us because I just don't see how we're going to score enough goals. I think we're all right defensively, but I think it's going to be, I don't know. God knows. But other than that, the game was pretty boring. I thought we were the better side, but the club have gambled massively on Calvert-Lewin and Okafor. Okafor looked okay, but he needs some time and to stay injury-free. Calvert-Lewin, he looked sharp. I thought he looked really good. We just need him to find his finishing boots. Yeah. Anyway, coulda, shoulda, wouldas. Luckily, there are still 4 teams that are worse than us.
Should we get on to one of those teams?
Can do if you like.
What can I say? Like, having come off the back of Nottingham Forest before international break, I thought, hey, we've turned a corner. I said so at the time. I thought this feels like where we should have been at the start of the season, and had the board pulled the finger out and we'd have maybe got the players in early enough and they'd been with us for the pre-season, we could have started the season on this foot instead of losing to Sunderland and Chelsea in the manner in which we did. There were lots of really nice passing going on through the middle. There were lots of really good connectivity. Possession was really good. And you tended to see the same old players, Fernandes, Paquetá, Walker-Peters, Somerville, all those players kind of really playing together really well and progressing up the pitch, which was nice. And they seemed to do that half a dozen times until Tottenham went, we know exactly what you're doing, so we'll just preempt that pass. And it just started, we became really predictable. So there's an opportunity there. We go in at half-time, 0-0. There's an opportunity. In fact, no, I think Tottenham scored, didn't they, in the first half? I've slept since then. I've not even watched, usually I watch highlights back. I've not bothered this time. I can't bear it. It's an hard watch. But so we're going at half-time. There's an opportunity for Potter to go, right, let's change things around. Let's bring on Fulkrug. Let's bring on, a proper striker. Let's bring on Wilson. Let's do something and put Paqueta back in his preferred position. Let's put Bowen back out in his preferred position. And it just didn't. We came back out exactly as we were. Souček gets sent off within 10 minutes.
But what I will say is that I think, was it in the Aston Villa game? I think there was a very similar challenge, although he got a little bit more of the ball. The ball but it was high and it was through his ankle, and that was a yellow card. It wasn't sending off, and he's sort of going, come on, it's not that much different, really. I didn't think, anyway.
No. So that sparked us into defensive mode, and we have got the worst defence in the league. I think we have conceded the most corners of any team in the Premier League so far this season. We've also conceded the most goals from a corner this season in the Premier League. I'll say that again and we'll edit it around it. We have...
we won't.
Nice. So we have conceded the most corners of any team in the Premier League and conceded more goals from corners from any team in the Premier League. Konstantinos Mavropanos, I think, had 3 goals aside. I think he had a really good game. I think he's really growing into his own. Kilman, he's all right still, but he's not. Yeah, I worry about Kilman.
It's interesting you say that about corners, because I'm just looking. Then Tottenham had 13 corners to your 2, and I think in our game, although it wasn't particularly exciting, I think we had 3 corners each.
Yeah, and I think that speaks of the naivety of our keeper. I think it speaks of the naivety of our back four in terms of, I say naivety. Kilman's been a Premier League defender for a lot of seasons, and he should know better. Mavropanos, I think, had the better idea when he was trying to, retain possession and pass. And if he was tucked in anywhere, he was going for the throw in rather than letting it go for a corner. Whereas, Hermansen again, I don't see Hermansen keeping his place. I think Ariola's going to come in, and I think he's probably going to have to limit himself to the cup, considering we got bombed out of that one. Positives, that 30 minutes in the first half, Fernandez, Somerville, Paquetá, Bowen. Bowen seemed a little bit more himself out on the right, which was nice. I'm quite interested to see our deadline day signing of Igor, the Brazilian centre-back. He never came on. We're going down to 10 men.
We have some experience of Brazilian centre-backs, and our experience is not a good one.
I mean, Brazil aren't known to be a defensive team.
It's not like signing an Italian centre
No.
half.
There's two ways you could go. You could either go absolutely all out on 10 men at 54 minutes and, throw on full Krug and lump it. Play to his strengths as a target man. Or you can kind of go defensive and just go, we're going to see it out at 1-0 and just don't be embarrassed by it. And I didn't see either of those things being played out. I saw Magassa came on, which was the substitute to kind of rectify Souček. Guilherme came on at 61 minutes, who's a bit of pace. But Somerville came off. So you're just swapping like for like. There's no
The only thing
change.
I would say, so my experience of Somerville, and Somerville, I think is a really good player, and he was for Leeds. But in our Championship playoff final against Southampton, he didn't show up. He just didn't do the defensive side of the game, and I wonder whether that's why he brought him off. It was like we can't carry that at the moment. Can I just give you a positive from the game? And it's stats, but you had 7 shots, 4 on target. Tottenham had 14 shots, but only 5 on target. So only 1 more on target. And there's 2 things I would say. I don't think there's any embarrassment in losing to Tottenham this season. I think they're going to be decent. Not that I know anything, but it also shows 5 shots on target. They scored 3 goals. It was like Arsenal when Arsenal played us. I think they had 6 shots and they scored 5 of them, or whatever. And it's like when at that level, they just sometimes these teams are just ruthless.
That speaks a little bit of Hermansen, I think, of his inability to command his net. I think Ariola or Fabianski in there, it might have been, I don't think we'd have won it. I don't think we'd have drawn it.
Was he at fault for the goals?
I don't think he was directly at fault, but you don't have to be at fault as a keeper to not allow a goal in. Do you know what I mean? He could have still saved it, I think.
Is it because he's not? You think that the defence are a bit nervous in front of him?
Yeah, absolutely. I think at Forest it felt as if there was something starting to click, and I think Mavropanos coming in felt very much like a change for the better. There was a lot of stuff around our marking for the corners which I think was at fault. So their first goal that was disallowed was Fernandez chasing their big massive 6'5", whatever he's called. And Fernandez is only, maybe 5'10". He's a tall geezer, but he's not, as tall as that guy. And he was just getting the runaround. And I just think there's a little bit of disconnect between who are you marking? Is it?
Have you got a set piece coach?
No.
Because apparently we're looking for one. Well, we've either got one or we're looking for one, or we've been looking for one for a while. And hopefully that set piece coach has not come in, because otherwise that's a hell of a disaster for us. But I just wonder, because that's all the rage in it, the whole set piece coach thing.
Yeah, and it's something going back through to Moyes, we didn't have a set piece coach. We hadn't had a set piece coach, I think, since Slav. Whereas, you look at Liverpool and they've got a throw-in coach.
But then also, Marcelo Bielsa for us, he didn't believe in practicing them at all. Just didn't bother. It's like, whatever, just get the ball in. Get to see what happens. That's all. I'm sure it was a bit more complicated than that. But who's your stinker?
It has to be Souček. Has to be, because I think had he not been sent off, I'm not saying we could have won it. I'm not saying we wouldn't have lost 3-0. I just think we'd have probably had a better chance of not coming away as frustrated. Souček really embodies what feels like the squad mentality is, because it does feel a little bit desperate at times,
panicky.
Yeah, and I think you look at Potter on the sidelines, and you can see he's just not got the answers. I don't think
he looked towards the end of the game. He looked like a little boy lost. He was just sort of like, I mean, that looks like a man who is on borrowed time.
There is planned protests. There's an organisation who are planning some real big protests with the club. So protests against the board. So Crystal Palace, they're going to be basically marching to the stadium and lining the road where the directors drive in. Like the London Stadium, if you've ever been, there's it's not like Upton Park where the car park is right in front of the main gates. You know, and there's one way in, one way out, and you would literally have to, pass and drive up Green Street, in your Rolls Royce, and there's plenty of clips of fans knocking on Mr. Sullivan's window or Mr. Gould's window, going, "Oi!" So London Stadium, they've got away with it, but the fans are going to line it, so they're not going to be able to ignore it. And then Brentford, I think it is, there is going to be a boycott of the game, so they're not just going to do the same thing all the time. So it's not constantly going to be a boycott. They're not asking for, there's going to be planned protests, there's going to be boycotts, there's going to be other events happening throughout the season, just to try and make it still newsworthy and still, and we've started to see this in the press. The press have started to talk and kind of agree with a lot of the stuff that the fans have been saying about how the board seem to be very difficult to work with, and that managers aren't attracted to working with David Sullivan and Karen Brady, and how difficult past managers have maybe quietly said. So there's a lot of this kind of stuff going on, and the board will be rubbing their hands at the fact that Potter is doing badly, because they can sack him, they can bring in somebody like Nuno or somebody like that, and somebody who will turn it around.
I mean, that's the thing at Ellen Road. It's a similar thing, because ultimately the board have let Farker down, and ultimately Farker is the one that's going to take the fall. But also from the point of view of the football, the Leeds fans will accept in the first season, maybe 2 seasons, that pragmatic approach being hard to beat, not scoring loads of goals to keep us in the league. But it's only going to last so long. So why Karen Brady? It's Karen Brady, isn't it?
Yeah, Baroness Brady.
Why Baroness Brady and Mr. Sullivan are the right people to take you forward?
I mean, they're not. Okay, Karen Brady is somebody who is well used to dealing with the football world, having been the youngest and I think the first female chairman of a professional football club in England when she was at Birmingham City.
I think so, yeah.
And famously was kind of lauded as this great and did really well at Birmingham until they stopped, they basically got to where they are now with West Ham. And David Sullivan, very similar. He has spent an awful lot of his adult life running football clubs. He is well versed in talking to the right people, and I'm not convincing at all. I've just looked at clock and it's like there's 10 seconds left, and I'm not even convinced myself.
You can't even bring yourself to do it.
No, it's awful. Right, minute up.
Okay, quick question for you then.
Right.
Will it be Nunez, or will it be Nunez, Mario Sanchez, Santo,
Nuno,
whatever is that's him?
Yeah.
Will it be him, or will it be Sean Dyche, or will it be Mourinho? Because you can't have Chris Wilder. He's gone back to Sheffield United.
No, there's been a rumour as well I've seen today that McKenna was spotted at the Olympic Stadium on Saturday. No photographs. One person has seen him, but he's meant to be the person. And I believe this is the board who have released this. They've said there's language when it comes to the board, and one of the other on Hammer's chat they were talking about this. There's language when it comes to managers. They admire managers, and when it's players they're interested. he isn't a defensive manager, and that's what we don't need a defensive manager, but we need a manager who understands how to get the best out of defence. 5 years ago, you'd be all over Mourinho. He was still there was still something to do, as he were leaving Man United, or I just no. Sean Dyche, I genuinely think it's a 50-50 between him and Nuno. I think it comes down to who's going to be cheapest.
You said that there was already a contract on the table for Sean Dyche.
There is. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. There's just going to be a set of circumstances where they just,
Well, being purely selfish, I hope they don't sack Potter and, you sort of continue with what you're doing, because at the moment we're relying on the fact that there were going to be 3 teams worse than us. I didn't do my stinker of the match, did I?
No, your minute. You hadn't done your minute either.
Yeah, no, I'll do that in a sec. My stinker of the match was Dominic Calvert-Lewin, DCL. Only because he should have scored. And essentially that's his job.
Yeah.
It's his only job. I'm not going to give it to Goodmanson. He's probably suffering enough.
Fair play. 1 minute on why Calvert-Lewin will end up with the Premier League Golden Boot.
Well, of course he's going to end up with the Golden Boot. I mean, he's got 20. The amount of chances he's missing at the moment, you can't keep going. I mean, Haaland, this is a guy, right, who scored for England. He's multiple times, multiple caps. He's under whatever his face was, the Italian manager at Everton, was like probably the best striker in the country at the time. Definitely rivaling your mate who you want to retire, Kane, for the number 9 shirt at England. So I can't see for 1 minute why. He wants to be in the World Cup team. I think he's driven. I think our medical team that we've spent a fortune on our medical facilities apparently this summer are going to keep him fit. He's going to get firing in. He just needs that first goal, and then that's it. It'll be 4 hat-tricks he's going to score this season, and he's going to score 28 goals.
Cool, yeah. To be fair, that feels quite... I'd believe that based off that.
And it'll be the best free signing that anybody's ever had in the history of the Premier League.
Fair enough.
But there we go.
Fair enough.
Who have you got next?
Palace, I think.
Okay, Palace at home. Listen, that's a relegation 6-pointer.
And,
is it?
No, Palace will take it.
It's not a relegation 6-pointer. They're mid-table.
Yeah.
I got them confused with Aston Villa. I don't care about the Premier League. I'm not asked. They're playing similar colours. Aston Villa are struggling. We've got Wolves. Wolves away.
Wolves decent.
I think we've got to win. We've got to win.
Speaking of Wolves, one manager I would take tomorrow, Gary O'Neill. I think he's underrated, and I think he's given the right opportunity, and I think he'd work well with our squad.
Crystal Palace at home will be tricky. I think they've had 3 draws and a win, something like that.
Yeah, their manager's good. I like him. He was in charge at Frankfurt when they knocked us out of the Europa League, I think.
Good knowledge. Yeah, that's in the know. That's sort of proper football knowledge, that is.
Yeah, that's just memory of being knocked out of a cup and just remembering, oh yeah, when it comes to Palace, I know you.
The only other bit of I gave the bit of Jesse Marsh knowledge. The only other bit of knowledge that I'm going to give you today is a well-known piece of knowledge, which is we haven't won a football match in London, especially in the Premier League, for about 135 years. So, yeah. So I mean, it's not quite that long, but it's a long, long time.
I can remember Jonathan Woodgate and all them lot and Mark Viduka, that squad.
Late 90s, early 2000s, yeah.
I used to work on the trains, and I once ferried that squad down to London.
I'd forgotten you used to work on the trains. I'd forgotten that.
Yeah, I used to do first class service and stuff on trains.
Yeah.
But I remember getting on the train and being like, hey, up Leeds United, which is, as a football fan, you're a bit like, that's quite cool. I get to work with us. And it was that squad. And Mark Viduka just kept going, do you know who I am? And I just kept going, no. Sorry, no. But they were playing Tottenham that week, so they must have got beat if they've not won in London.
I would imagine so.
So that makes me feel better about the manner in which Mark Viduka tripped me.
Interesting. So Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, in my days of running the Elbow Room, as you'll remember, running the nightclub, I remember him being... No, actually, it wasn't him. I think it was his agent, or it was somebody who was with him, who said when we tried to charge him for the pool, his agent or whoever it was, don't you know who this is? And I said the same thing. I said, I don't care who he is. It's still 38 quid for the pool. And I remember Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank saying, what's the problem? And the guy went, they're trying to charge for the pool. And he went, well pay. And that was that. So I think maybe all that team, the strikers, although he was a bit before Viduka, had maybe a bit of, do you know who I am? Interesting.
To be a Premier League striker, I suppose you have to have a bit of that about you.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, let's do the same thing next week.
Yeah. Let's pray for something to happen.
It's very quickly turning into a relegation podcast. Although we said it might.
Yeah, which is, what better way to spend a relegation season than once a week just taking piss?
Correct.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. While pretending we know a little bit about football.
Yeah, because otherwise, you're just miserable on your own.
Yeah.
Sat at home.
And let's all be thankful we're not Manchester United.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I mean,
there's ups and downs.
Yeah.
Right.
See you next week. Don't forget, like and subscribe and all that jazz. It is the last football podcast of the week, so don't expect us to be on time. Don't expect us to be relevant. We'll be talking about games 3 weeks ago. So, if you like reminiscing about the past and it's shit, this is the one for you.
Probably.
Adios.